Hello parents, I'm Mr. Howard Yu, Principal of OneAcademy.Asia. Today, I'd like to share with you the importance of P4 science education. So I will do a screen share about this presentation, which I prepared before and shared with parents a few years ago. I hope you can see my screen. And now I would begin my presentation here. So what is this P4 subject-based banding? And I'd like to show you it's very important to understand this. And basically, I was a former PSLE science marker for Pei-Hwa Presbyterian Primary School and author of the P5 and PSLE science open-ended questions. So today, our focus is to help parents to understand, especially your eldest child is in P4, about the importance of preparing well in P4, especially for science. So in the past, there are more than 200 possible outcomes of T-score. And a few years ago, MOE have switched to the grading of achievement levels called AL. So they reduced to 29 possible different outcomes. So this is the AL benchmark, as you can see from here. The AL1, which is the best score, is 90 marks and above. And most students, they may be falling within this 3 to 5 range, the majority. So if you score 65 marks, that is the lower end of the AL5. So a student scoring 65 and 74 will achieve a grade of AL5. So the lower the score, the better. So the maximum possible score for a student who does very well is actually AL4, assuming all the subjects, the students score 90 and above. So the student will have AL4. That will qualify the students for very good schools in Singapore, very good secondary schools. Next, you can see this is a scenario. A student with these grades, for example, English AL3. So maybe the student is scoring 81 for English, you get AL3. Mother tongue, perhaps 88, you get AL2. Mathematics, the student did exceptionally well. Perhaps the student score full marks 100. So we get AL1. And science, perhaps the student score 85 and hit AL2. So the AL3, AL2, AL1, AL2 give you a total score of AL8. So AL8 will qualify the student for the express stream, as you can see here. So if you score 20 is the maximum score to qualify for express. And express NA, if you score 21 and 22, the student is given a choice whether to choose NA or express. So more importantly is what I'm going to discuss with you today, because this is a summary of what most schools in Singapore do. They do internal school-based streaming based on science and math result. So for example, as you can see on the screen here, if the child scores very well in the P5 science and maths, they total the score, and the top 32 students are being streamed to the best P5 class. And the next 32 will also be streamed to the next P5 class. And then, can you see LA here? LA is a low ability. Perhaps the school decide to have 2 classes of lesser students, 20 each. They will stream to the low ability class. So in between here, they will mix the student into 4 different mixed ability classes. We call MA classes. So why this is important? Because science is the only subject that marks can be greatly improved within a short period of time under excellent coaching by Mr. Howard Yu. So I'd like to invite your child to come for my maths training and science training. Maths is by Mr. Quack, my partner, and science is by myself. So over the past years, I have advised parents to do this because you can see in primary 4, they will be block promoted to the next level. So in this slide, the previous slide, if your child scores very good marks, will have higher chances of being posted to the better P5 classes. And there will not be any separation of classes from P5 to P6. So they will stay together in the same class for 2 years in P5 and P6. So that's why it's very important for P4, because this will determine what class they go to P5. So that's why they will stay 2 years together for better or for worse. Why for better or for worse? Because if your child is posted to the better class, usually the students are more keen to studies. They set higher goals to achieve better marks in PSLE. However, if your child is being posted to the N classes, the airway classes, due to whatever the peer influence, they may not have the environment to provide them to achieve better academic result that will actually fall below their potential. So just a quick review of the science curriculum, because some parents, they will ask, my child do not know how to answer the questions in section B, because nowadays MOE wants the student to apply the concepts to real life situations. So for example, as you can see this year, this will be the P4 topic where your child will be studying. Basically in term 1, they will study light and shadow, life cycle of plants and animals. And next they will move to matter. And next in term 3, as I can say, this is a very difficult topic, heat and temperature, because both the matter and heat and temperature, they are being heavily tested in PSLE. And most of the students, they are weak, very weak in answering the heat and temperature topic, where it's my forte of teaching the students. You can actually visit my YouTube channel to learn more about the heat open-ended questions. So these are the ways to support your child. You can screenshot this. As due to time constraint, I will move on to the next slide to encourage you that how I train students in answering open-ended questions in my academy. As you can see here clearly that about more than 70% of P3 to P6 pupils have difficulty in giving accurate scientific answer to open-ended questions, OEQ. And that's my focus in One Academy. We help students in mastering the technique and skills in answering open-ended questions with our SEAL training. So what is SEAL training? Okay, in short, this is what we do. We use these resources. Personally, I published a book, which is called the P5 PSLE Science Open-Ended Questions book. And this is a copy of my book I published. And parents actually do mail order from me. And actually, there are many good credentials given by parents in the past. And secondly, I enhanced the top schools exam paper. I modified the questions and test the student. Thirdly, I also choose selected challenging questions from different sources. And finally, do subscribe and like my One Academy channel. Currently, there are 648 subscribers. I need your help to achieve 1,000 subscribers so I can qualify to be a YouTuber. So this is my SEAL training, scientific experiential application learning. So I use the scientific concepts and also there are experiments, either physical experiments or virtual experiment to stimulate your child's learning. And also they'll be exposed to, we call it experimental-based questions. Okay, experimental-based questions are those questions that the child or the candidate needs to interpret from the graphical representation, be it in graphs or table forms, and answer the questions. And then I personally believe that there's no pupils too difficult to be coached for science to do well. So you can contact my hotline, 8268-5299, and our center is conveniently located next to the Beauty World MRT at Beauty World Center 0316. And I was a former PSLE Science Section B marker, as well as a former Science HOD. So this was the past training during the June holiday, and usually it's full house. Students travel from different parts of Singapore to come for my training. And now the good news is, as you can see here, with the opening of the Thomson East Coast Line, students from Mayflower can actually travel to Beauty World very easily. Because I did a test ride from Mayflower, as during the holiday, the parent invited me to coach her triplet, 3 boys taking PSLE in 2024. So they were staying near Mayflower, and I did a test ride from Mayflower to our center at Beauty World. It takes about 35 minutes for this ride. And also it connects well to the downtown line. So students from the Orchard Boulevard, from Newton, they can travel easily to Beauty World Center. In fact, I have students coming from as far as Sengkang and Punggol. So it's very well connected, and parents can also enjoy their hikes in the nature reserve nearby. So this is the training I offer both online and on site, and you can screenshot this. And also I invite parents to quickly book the March and June 2024 P5 as well as PSLE intensive classes. So normally P5, I try to do it over 2 days in June, as well as PSLE also 2 days. But for March, I will give priority to the P6 student. It's limited to 1 day. Basically, for March, I would cover lesser topics. It's not a full scope due to the time constraint. So do take note of my number here to indicate your interest in this booking, because usually it's full house, maximum 10 students for both the June and March training. And finally, this is our center at Beauty World. Do remember it's well connected to the Thomson East Coast line as well as the downtown line. So I wish parents all the best in subscribing or joining One Academy. So once again, I'm very thankful for your kind listening. And I invite all students this year, 2024, to excel in their science from P3, P4, P5, P6. And I also hire tutors to teach or coach the pure chemistry in Sec 3, Sec 4, as well as pure physics. Thank you. Stay tuned. And do remember to subscribe to One Academy Science. You can enjoy many free learning over there. Direct your child to visit One Academy Science, like and subscribe. And also they can learn many systematic way where I teach students how to answer the Section B open-ended questions. So once again, this is Mr. Howard Yu from One Academy. Cheers.